Hey, guitasters. How you doing? Alright, so, welcome to Learn Guitar with Caleb, Christmas specials. This is episode 11 now. We're doing Away in a Manger today. So, again, this is another beautifully simple one. Beautiful traditional one. I'm doing it in the key of G, because G is a really good key for like beginner to intermediate stuff. Like you don't have any of those pesky bar chords and stuff. So what we're doing is, so we start with G, and it's basically the same thing twice, but the ending changes slightly. So you've got it's a 4-line carol, and there's only really kind of like 4 or 5 chords in the whole thing. So let me play through it, and then we'll go through how I do it. Away in a manger, no crib for his bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the heavens look down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. And that's the whole thing, and there's 3 verses, and that's the whole song. So now, you can do it. That's the easy way to do it. You can throw in a secondary dominant chord. We've talked about those, and throw in an A7 chord in there, in the second line. So, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. Like. So you can either do a C or you can do an A7 there if you really want to have that more traditional sound. Otherwise, you can do the whole thing with just like the 4 chords. G, C, D. I don't think you need an A minor in there. Oh yeah, A minor. Yeah, so G, A minor, C, and D. You do the whole thing of those. You can throw in an A7, a 5th chord, to make it more traditional sounding. Otherwise, it's totally fine not to do that and just do a regular C chord instead of the A7 there. Now, okay, so let's go through that slowly. So we've got this 8-bar sequence happening. We've got G, G. Oh, we got someone saying hi. Hey, Steph, Leanne, how are you doing? Okay, so we've got G, G, G. So it's 3 bars of G, then it goes to A minor. Then we go to C, back to G, and then you can go to C, or you can go to A7, and then to D7. So, simply put, it's G, 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 A minor, C, G, C, D. If you want to make it more complicated, you can do G, 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 A minor, C, G, A7, D7. And that makes it more traditional sounding, but it involves adding a different chord. So if you just know a few basic chords, you can do it with just G, A minor, C, and D. So, away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. Or you can do it, away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. Both work perfectly fine with the melody. One of them is a slightly different sound you can hear there. So do what you prefer, the A7 chord there. I like it better, but it's easier in terms of the whole scope of the whole thing if you just do C, because at the end, the second half of the song, we basically repeat the whole thing, but you do a quick C, D, 7, G at the end. So like, the stars in the heavens look down where he lay, the little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. And it finishes like that. So it's quick D, G, and that's the whole song. So it's literally that simple. So you want to kind of remember those 2 different patterns. Or it's like the same thing twice. You've got like an A line and a B line, A line, B line. So G, 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 A minor, C, G, C, D. G, 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 A minor, C, G, C, D, G. So it's just a little bit of a different ending there to make it resolve back to the G, because that's in the key of G. Alright, so that is our chord progression. So if you're new to the guitar and you don't know those chords, this is the preferable G chord. It is a 4-finger chord. There are 3-finger versions, but the 4-finger one is best to learn, especially if you're in the key. And it sounds more nice and more. That's the 3-finger G. It doesn't sound as nice and resolved. So that's a better chord, especially if you're in key of G. Then we have an A minor, which is like that. So first finger on the first fret of the second string, and then these two second and third fingers on the middle 2 strings on the second fret there. We switch to the C chord. You just take 1 finger there. So let's go that way. 1 finger, and that third finger comes up, and that's a C chord. And then for D, you bring these 2 fingers down to the first 2 strings, and you put that one there. That's your D chord. So you only need those 4 chords. The A7 chord is like this. Again, it's like those 2 fingers from the A minor, but instead of having it here, because that's the minor one, you put it here, and that's an A7. So those are the 5 chords that you need. Now, in terms of what you would do with your right hand, there's a number of things we can do with the right hand. Now, traditionally, because it's a nice, slow, traditional carol, I like finger picking a lot of those. Away in a manger, because I think that it adds that more traditional feel to it. Like, it's not quite as good as away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head, the stars, and which is okay. It's totally good, especially like if you're going caroling with a group of people or something, and you've got the guitar and you're trying to play loud enough that you're supporting everyone, keeping them in key. Like, you might want to strum like that. Do I strum with my dominant hand or the other? Usually, yes. But if you've never played guitar before, I recommend learning right-handed guitar. Just because 95% of guitars are made right-handed, and so if you learn left-handed and you're a left-hander, like, you need both of your hands for the guitar anyway. If you learn left-handed guitar, what ends up happening is you're really limited in the guitars that you buy. Companies charge more to make left-handed guitars because they're left-handed and it's a special thing when it's just the same. And it also really limits you, because that way if you go over to someone's house or something and they have a guitar, there's most likely you're not going to be able to play it because it's going to be a right-handed guitar. So, like, most of my students that I had back in Sydney, I had a good, like, maybe 15-20% of my students were left-handed people, because I think studies show that left-handed people are more creative, and lots of left-handed people play musical instruments. Most of them, though, if they've never played guitar before, we tell them, great, get a right-handed guitar and learn that way, because you need both of your hands for the guitar. And usually, actually, we're thinking more about what we're doing with our left hand here on the fretboard than we are here. This becomes quite automatic, and so I imagine it's actually easier for left-handed people. The macro function of strumming and stuff isn't as intuitive with your non-dominant hand, but again, you'll probably be better off at a lot of the stuff here quicker. So I recommend learning right-handed guitar if you haven't already started learning left-handed guitar. But anyway, good question. Thank you, Steph. All right, so and again, strumming and picking require different techniques. I recommend learning to use a pick first, and in a lot of my usual lessons that I run on Twitch, we do specific picking exercises, and I do use a pick. I'm not today because specifically with a lot of the Christmas carols and things, I find finger picking works really nicely, and there's like a couple core patterns that work really well with a lot of different ones. And so this is the exact same pattern, this finger picking pattern that we were using for What Child Is This a few days ago. And so that's why I wanted to show you guys how to do this one. So what we're doing here, let's bring this a bit closer. So 6, 3, 2, 6, 1, 2. So you should have your first three fingers here on the first three strings, but in reverse order. So third finger is on the first string, second finger on the second, and first finger on the third string. And your thumb does these other three strings depending on whatever the bass note is of the chord. So for G, you're doing the 6th string. And then when you go to A minor, you hit the A string, open A string. C is also on the A string, back to G on the 6th string. Then A7 and D is on the 4th string there. So that works really well, because then basically you're doing the exact same finger pattern each time, and they're staying put. It's just your thumb is moving depending on whatever the bass note of the chord is. So it makes it really easy to just do it in a really good flow. And so that's that picking pattern that I recommend. So it's a 6-note pattern: 6, 3, 2, 6, 1, 2, 6, 3, 2, 6, 1, 2, 6, 3, 2, 6, 1, 2, 6. And if you want to get a bit fancier with it, you can also do where the second time you play the 6, you do a different string in the chord. But that's a little fancier, and you have to know what all the notes in the chord, and you have to be really intentional with the notes you do. So you can do it like this. Or something like that, where you're changing bass notes more, and it's really effective in some instances. It's really unnecessary as well. It's more of an extra flourish. If you just got one singer and one guitar happening, you might want to do it for a little extra. But if you've got a whole group of carolers or something, you will probably want to just keep it simple, and you might want to just strum it for volume, unless you're amplified or something. If you are going to strum it, again, I recommend with the 3/4 timing. So we're in 3, so it's 1 and 2 and 3, and that's where we have the 6-note pattern. 6-note pattern. 1, so you go 1, miss, miss, up, down, up, 1, miss, miss, up, down, up. Or you can do down. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Alternatively, you can also do where you do put the 2 in. So like 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2, and that just adds a bit more drive to the 1, and that's when the chords change. So it helps you signify the chord change more as well, which helps the harmony work better around the melody. So those are the things that those are the two kind of strumming patterns I'd recommend. Alternatively, there are other alternative picking patterns you could do. You could do something like. Or something like that. I don't feel that works quite. It's a little more clunky. It's like this. It hits the offbeat in a different way, and doesn't flow as naturally, I think, with the melody. So that's if you did watch the What Child Is This tutorial a few days ago, which is still available on both YouTube, Facebook, and on my Twitch videos from the last couple of weeks, you can. That's the pattern that I recommend, and it's a really good one because you just add 2 extra notes to make it 4/4, and it's a really good sort of intermediate one. I didn't have a guitar, but you make me want to get one. Well, it's the perfect time of year for it because it's Christmas or something. And it's like, get yourself a guitar for Christmas, or hint to whoever that you'd like a guitar for Christmas if they haven't already got you something. Because you can get some, and there's a number of cheap ones you can get as well, and especially I find this time of year as well, leading up to Christmas, you have people who got a guitar for last Christmas and didn't use it, and they're like, oh, haven't done that, and they're like, I'll just sell it. So you seem to find that some people, like on sites like Gumtree and Craigslist and these things, where people sell their secondhand stuff online, you'll find that you get like a wave leading up to Christmas of people selling their old guitars that they don't use. Because they're going to get more stuff and they want to get rid of some stuff beforehand and everything like that. But anyway, yeah, the guitar is a really versatile instrument. If you don't play an instrument, our guitar is one of the best ones to start on because it's really inclusive. It's like it's got the percussive element, so you can do like, so you can kind of got this like drum thing going as well. So you can kind of, it's like it requires some like rhythmic stuff from like drums, and it's like a piano in that you can play a lot of harmonic stuff and melodic stuff on it. It has different purposes and uses and stuff, but it's a very, one of the huge benefits of the guitar over something like the piano or a drum kit is that it's way more portable as well, and you can get travel ones that are even smaller and easier to carry around and things like that. It's a really versatile instrument, and it's one of the most common instruments in the world nowadays. And I think it's such a great social tool. If like so many times, like when you make friends, you go to like a friend of a friend's house or something like that, there's a guitar lying around somewhere, and it's such a great icebreaker to be able to pick up and play a couple of songs or something. And especially this time of year, it's such a like doing a few Christmas carols and stuff together. It's just a really great social bonding activity. Anyway, good, thank you, Steph. I'm going to finish up now. We're going to play through the song nice and slowly. I'm going to do the finger picking and stuff, and I'm going to do the A7 chord. You can totally do the C chord. If you have a guitar and you're watching, you can totally play along. I'm going to go nice and slow so you can try and follow my chords as I go. And we'll finish off with that today. And then I'll be back tomorrow with a different one. If you have any requests specifically, you can totally let me know. The only other one that I know I'm definitely going to be doing this week leading up to Christmas is Oh Holy Night. We're going to do that at some point. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe like on Friday, maybe. But we'll see. Alright, so got our G chord there. Got my fingers ready. Going to go through as a little intro. I'm probably going to, usually it's good to like do the last line or something like that. So you might go. That was the, yeah. If you spend a little time, you can come up with something even better. But away in a manger, no crib for his bed. Sorry, that was an A minor chord. Bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the heavens looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. The cattle are lowing, the poor baby wakes, but little Lord Jesus no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, look down from the sky and stay by my cradle till morning is nigh. Be near me, Lord Jesus, I ask thee to stay close by me forever and love me, I pray. Bless all the dear children in thy tender care, and fit us for heaven to live with thee there. And so obviously there I drew out the ending there to make it a little like more like it's finishing. But there's just a few of these little basic things you can do to make things sound like it begins properly and it finishes properly. And again, they're just little simple things. You just got to know the basic tricks and stuff. And again, like learning guitar quickly is not just about learning songs. Really, you want to focus on techniques and exercises, because playing guitar is like juggling five or six different balls, especially if you're singing as well, because that's like lyrics and melody. And you've got to do like these several different things at the same time, and they're all like different size balls. And so you want to be able to get the feel and the weight of each of the balls individually first to be able to juggle them effectively, without like just throwing them everywhere and stuff. And you got to start with like one ball and like two balls before you can do three. So that's why most of the time I'm doing a Christmas special leading up to Christmas, but most of the time I'm doing like regular lessons where we're going through lots of skill and technique. We've got like one song we're working on every few days over that time, and we're looking at all the skills and techniques and things we need to do the song well and effectively, and like what you might do to kind of make it better or flourish it or make it your own and stuff like that. So anyway, thank you for watching. That was Away in a Manger. If you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, remember that you've got to get onto Twitch like Steph here today to be able to ask questions and interact. It makes it way more fun, and that way, like, I can answer questions that you've had. I've been playing guitar for almost 20 years. The last 3 years I've been the head guitar teacher at a major Sydney guitar school. It's like I'm a resource, a wealth of knowledge here about like guitar technique and things, and I want to help you guys get better, because again, it's such a wonderful, music is such a wonderful thing that we can share, and I think Twitch is a really great community platform for doing that. So thank you for watching, Steph, and anyone else who is watching. I know there's a couple of you here who didn't say anything, but thank you guys, and anyone else. I gotta keep on Twitter or on Twitch or Facebook to know when I'm going live. But I do it like usually 5 days a week. I'm not gonna do it at all next week between Christmas and New Year's, but I'm every day this week leading up, every weekday this week leading up to Christmas and stuff. Thank you guys. Have an awesome one. And all the best, guitarists. Keep on strumming.